Hey everyone, welcome back to Healthcare. It's still Wednesday, May 3rd. We're going back to S47 for committee discussion and vote. So, committee discussion. Marnie.
Page 5, section 3, starting on line 5, where it lists the groups that would be in consultation to create a report. I'd like to add Vermont psychiatric survivors to that, the list of people that would be working on that report.
I'm fine with.
But I haven't been able to pull it open yet. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine.
I just want to say that before people go too far ahead.
So it's just adding one more.
Adding one more,
7.1.
and that doesn't supplant person with lived experience.
That's 7.1.
That's still
So we'll be
there.
adding.
Yeah, I think that's a
7.1.
great addition.
Well, we added that.
Is it
We added
7.1?
Med Freedom, we changed it to people with lived experience of a mental health condition, and we'll add Vermont psychiatric.
So they represent Mad Freedom and Vermont
No version, I think.
psychiatric survivor.
Yeah, because she got the green where they changed it. Might be the next one.
It is. All right, we all.
7.1.
7.1.
Because Alan's looking at 5.3 and I want to just make sure.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I got 7.1.
All right, good.
Okay,
So
so-
we'll have 7.1.
Go ahead, Marty.
Another one?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I wanted to make sure I had the most recent before we start talking.
Which just added in everything that we talked about, so it
So we can see it.
added in Mad Freedom Inc. and changed to persons with lived experience. It's
So on
mental health
the
condition.
version 7.1, it's page 5,
Thank you, Joe. Thank you.
section 3, which starts on line 5, where it lists DMH in consultation with Vermont Care Partners, Vermont Legal Aid, Mad Freedom, and persons with lived experience of a mental health condition. We're broadening the population of people that would be represented by adding Vermont psychiatric survivors, in addition to all of those that I just named.
I support that. And one thing I'll point out is it says in consultation with, it doesn't say it can't exclude people. However,
Exactly.
if we are going to list more organizations specifically, I feel like I should at least put out there a few other organizations that they may want to talk with.
So let's put them out there who they might want to talk with, but we're not, maybe not put them into the report.
I'm not gonna go that far with it,
Okay.
but I feel like I agree with you, Mari, but it just made me think, like, if we're gonna add Vermont psychiatric survivors, what about NAMI? Because that's a lot of family members who deal with the system. What about there's two organizations. There's the Vermont, is it the disability? There's two disability councils, one for developmental disabilities and one that,
Well, and Jack's been here
Yeah.
as part of this whole process, and he was part of the process over the summer, so I'm sure he'll be part of the process without being.
without us naming every, okay.
Yeah. Leslie.
I just feel pretty worried that if we start naming people, we're gonna then inevitably leave someone out who will be annoyed. So I don't know if there's a general language that the committee could appoint someone they want, or just leave it be, but I just don't want to spend a whole lot of time thinking about who we include and who gets left out.
I think DMH will include
Whoever they think
appropriate
is.
people. I just think we should add this last one and then move on.
That's fine, as long as we don't have a bunch of that.
I guess my point was like,
why don't you just leave it, put a sentence in, and others as appropriate?
I'm fine with that. My point was when Mari mentioned Vermont psychiatric survivors, I immediately started thinking of all the other people we weren't including, and I wanted to make space for that, that's all.
I agree with you, but I feel like we're gonna blow it if we don't, if we start trying to list everybody.
I think persons with lived experience of a mental health condition gets to a lot of the other organizations that would be consulted because they all have, they represent. Art?
Yeah, I'm on page 2, trying to read B1 at the top and just trying to make total chronological sense of it. And my suggestion is on line 8, between may and transport, we put the word then. Because what it does in yellow, it tells you the conditions under when you can transport. And to me, the word may then transport the person includes that that piece above it in yellow. So it makes it clear. I think it would clarify by putting the word then in there, THN.
Claire, can you see if Katie can jump on? Thank you. What line are?
Line 8, between the last two words, may and transport. If we put may then transport, that means, okay, the law enforcement has got a hold, apply for a warrant, and therefore we may then transport the person. I suggest we do that, but it makes more sense as I read it.
Okay, I'm gonna,
Because it doesn't tie the, the way it is now, it doesn't seem to tie the transport to the sentence above it.
so the law enforcement officer may take the person into temporary custody if the law enforcement officer has probable cause to believe that the person poses a risk of harm to self or others. Okay, the law enforcement officer or a mental health professional shall apply to the court for the warrant without delay while the person is in temporary custody. The law enforcement officer or mental health professional, if clinically appropriate, may then transport the person. Is that what you're saying? If the law enforcement officer or mental health professional conducting the transport has probable cause to believe. Okay, I think that's fine. I would like to get Katie in for that one if she's free.
Yeah, I mean, it needs to be run by her. And also, Lori, and I know we've talked, between line 9, after the word the person, to a hospital, or to a facility, or to a something, so that we define transport.
Yeah, and I know you and I talked about offline of that. I'm hesitant to add that in because I'm hesitant to limit where people think is a safe place to be transported to. And since we're coming back with a report in January and this committee will take this up again, I'd rather, my opinion is not to put it in.
But this isn't the safe place. This is the final location. This isn't where you're bringing it.
But it's still, so let's say, what if they take them to the Northeast Kingdom's new.
Right. Maybe an appropriate facility, an appropriate healthcare facility, because down below you mentioned hospital. Line 21 mentions to a hospital. So we already have that in there. I don't know.
I'm going to respectfully ask that we not take that up because I think we would need to get everyone back in here to testify. Thank you. So if we don't have Katie, we might take a break.
Until 1:30.
You know where she is? Okay, so let's come back to this.